I got to watch what I say here because I value my kids' privacy.
Right.
Let me just say that I was not unhappily surprised. You know, a Buzz, God bless him, for my birthday and for Christmas, pretty much gives me a solid gift every time. A DVD, porno DVD.
Right, right.
And I, for the most part, have not watched them.
Right.
They're up on the shelf. And as I
Buzz, you might want to start giving those gifts to me then.
All right, you got it.
Very good.
As I was looking for a DVD for the train ride up here to New York, I couldn't help but notice that a few of them, which I know I have never watched,
are slightly open,
have mysteriously had all of the shrink wrap taken off them.
There you go.
and maybe have been watched by somebody.
Natural curiosity.
I'm not sure who that would be in my house. Who
Natural
would be
curiosity.
opening up my dirty DVDs.
The dogs, probably.
Yeah. But
oh God!
All I know is that that was one of the things when I wrote that down in a note to my wife. You know, I wrote something like, "That's my boy" or whatever.
They all grow up, and they grow up faster than you can.
She says to me, she goes, "Rebecca, don't leave your pornography sitting out where he can see it."
Right.
It's like, well, come on.
Well, it's trying to discipline them when they use language. Like I'm watching a computer game, and my daughter's in back of me, and if you crack a smile, that automatic reaction smile that you get, even if it's a soft word, my 6-year-old comes in and goes, "Daddy, this game sucks." And I couldn't, when I get she sees the initial reaction where I do the chuckle and you're done. As you say, that's not the right word to use, Catherine. Please don't say that. And she sees that there's the twinkle in Daddy's eye, and I can't help myself.
It happens even at 16 months.
Of course.
If you laugh at a tantrum, this is the stage we're at with Julia. She likes to stand and look in the refrigerator.
Right.
And if you shut the door and she's da na 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 na, and
well, she's like her father in that regard.
Yes, but I paid for that food, so I can do that.
That's right.
And if you smile and laugh at the tantrum, then you got a screaming kid for 20 minutes. So it's nasty business.
And the thing that Frida hates about my relationship with Bart is that because I do treat him like a little man, such as letting him sleep in, and if it's his ass, if it's his ass.
Right.
I talk to him now the same way I talk to any guy.
Right.
Which means that it's F this and F that. And so he'll say to me, "Dad, what was happening at work today?" And I'll say, "Oh, well, this effing moron says to me, and I said, F you. And then the guy says, eat my ass. And I said, yeah. So now he is talking back to me the same way. I don't mean he's talking back like he's back talking to me, but as he's describing his day, it's coming out. The words are just every once in a while, they're coming out, and I've noticed that it bothers my wife more than because I know he talks like that anyway.
Right.
All kids talk like that.
Yeah.
And I wish my dad would have talked like that with me. I don't know if it would have meant a hill of beans.
Well, let me tell you a story about that. As far as the O'Mara household growing up, that particular word that you're referring to,
the F word.
One time, and it was, I believe, when I was 16 or 17 years old, and I don't know where it came from, but I had not used that word in my house, and something was served at our family dinner table. And I don't know where I was. I was probably still on the school bus. I was probably still at baseball practice or something, but there was something served next to the pork chop that I couldn't identify, and somehow out of my mouth came, "What the F is that?"
Oh, dear.
And do you know the scenes in movies where they finally find the grail or some particular switch is thrown and the ground begins to shake and then the earth splits open and fire and brimstone comes out? I looked up at my old man, and it was the feeling as though someone had taken my testicles from my body and put them on a street corner where they were stomped on by pedestrians.
See, the difference is these are private conversations. These are just, it's not like Bart
this was with Mom, and this was just, my sister had gone off to college, so this was Mom, Mike, and Dad. My father, raised by Jesuits, My father was a good guy. I'm sure when he was in World War II, he used just as much language as every. He used a lot of GD. He used the S word. The F word, though, and I have, when you're just, we've done it on the air before, where you let your guard down, and I said, "What the F is that?" And I looked over, and my father, I was like 16. I was not a small kid at that stage of the game, and I almost felt like even at that age that I thought he was going to take whatever utensil he was eating with and stab me in the heart.
Do you think it would have been better if you had just said, "This is effing great"?
Right, but
because it was sort of insulting to your mom and bad language.
But at that point, really, at that age, I mean, he's not going to beat the crap out of me or anything like that.
Right.
But the look that I got and the reaction was, what you got, that sound of silverware going down onto the plate,
like the grandmother
that
tape.
clink. And I just looked up, and it was kind of an unwritten rule where I looked up at my old man, and I knew that I had erred, and I knew that I wouldn't err again. It was just not a.
This is just something just between Bart.
Yeah, right.
And I make the distinction of don't talk this way around mom. And here's another great real double standard that with Bart and I. Sometimes we will be in a family. I'll call it a family discussion, and Frida and I will be going at some issue.
Right.
Normally involves Bart being able to do something.
Right.
Okay.
He wants to stay out late or whatever the case is. And we are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I mean, she and I, now nothing that is obscene, but I mean, it's like we are into it. We're saying,
Right.
no, listen, I get absolutely, I ball my fist up and I go, I told him 11:30 is the curfew. 11:30 is the curfew. She says, but listen, that's unrealistic. Midnight is an easier time. We go back and forth, and I'm yelling at her. She's yelling at me. As soon as Bart says one thing to her, I turn around. I go, hey, you do not speak to your mother like that.
Right.
But at the same time, he just watched me speak to his mother like that.
Yeah, it's kind of
for
a
5
weird
minutes.
dance. It's the weird dance that we all do.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't
It's
be
very strange. You're sitting there going back and forth, and that's it. But it's everybody has a different way of dealing with it. I mean, it's incredible.
And F that dad that was skipping.
Yeah,
Just say that for you. F that guy.
Yeah, just one of those. And it's
F you, a jag off.
I can't describe it. I don't think I'm capable with my limited American university education with articulating exactly what it made me feel. There's an attitude that they project, which is just I don't care about anything.
It's the I'm better than you attitude.
I'm better, so I can skip.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Skip this.
Yeah, skip this right here.
Skip my D.
Niedermeyer.
Skip the Lou, my darling.
Absolutely. It's a round glasses thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Buzz.
Yeah. Sorry. Mine are oval.
Yeah, yours are oval.
Yeah.
They are.
Buzz
They're not
doesn't have the Harry Potter glasses.
No, he doesn't. No, not at all.
He really doesn't. We got a break.
He's got that same attitude.
We'll be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show. You can call Don and Mike anytime from anywhere in America. 877-365-3636. From D.C. on WJFK, 202-432-1067. And from New York City on WNEW, 877-692-1027. They're ready to believe you.
Right.
A day-to-day struggle to find the worst in people.
No problem.
The Don and Mike Show.
Hello, Don and Mike Show. Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
No, the other Mike.
Yeah.
It's Don and Mike. I'm Don, and that's Mike.
No, you're Mike.
Yeah, in real life, I'm Mike. You're right, and so is Buzz.
We're all Mike.
Yeah, you're all Mike. But,
Yeah, actually, there are
Mike, I'm
three
talking to
Mikes.
Mike Geronimo here. Kind of sounds like your marriage is breaking up there, doesn't it?
Are you talking to me, Don?
I'm talking to Mike Source over there.
Yeah, how was my marriage breaking up?
Mike Geronimo.
How was my marriage breaking up?
Well, I was on hold listening to your conversation with whatever your wife's name is this morning. Kind of sounds like your marriage is breaking up, doesn't it?
You mean the conversation on the air?
Yeah.
How does it sound like our marriage is breaking up?
Well,
Hey, we got to hit the delay.
You're gonna have to delete that out.
oh, my fault.
That's in fun. I was making a joke, you dumbass.
Yeah, well, she didn't sound too pleased with you there.
You obviously listen. Let me say something to you,
Well, before
there.
you say that, let me...
No, let me say something to you there. That obviously you there don't understand that me and my wife, when we are on the radio, we are doing a shows for dumbasses like yous.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah, right. Right.
Wait, hold on. What's your wife's name again? Trudy?
God damn, I wish you were dead.
Hey, Michael.
I wish, Rob, get me, it's time for some
Mike,
naked cruelty.
Trudy any good at oral? Tell me that.
Now listen, and what is the deal?
What are
with
you
the-
eating?
What is the deal with the chewing?
What are you
Right now.
chewing? Are you nervously chewing something? Or are you go? All right.
was
So
that
yeah, it's
guy.
that guy. So he's gone.
It was the effing faggot.
It was the effing. He's
Forget
gone.
it. Put it away. I don't
Forget
think
it.
you can't be the naked
was-
cruelty with that guy.
He doesn't like us very much.
It was the effing faggots guy.
Chewing on your wife's. You know, that'd be good in a bar.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
A bar.
A bar. That would be big fun. I'm thinking about that a lot lately.
That guy.
How much fun it would be in a bar.
Okay, I'll give him credit.
He gets a free pass.
Even though he says he hates us,
He loves us.
he listens all the time.
And that's his way of welcoming us.
That's
And
right.
you know what? Someday, maybe we'll put out, like one of those things for Children's Hospital.
Right.
Uncensored, Don and Mike, where you would just be able to hear the guy when we finally push him to the point where he has no defense, when he just finally says,
Right.
"You effing faggots."
You know, totally X-rated CD of all the stuff that we've edited out of this program.
With all proceeds going
Because
to
I was on the
charity.
verge, he's going over to me. I was really on the verge of giving him the FU.
Yeah.
Hello, Don and Mike show.
He's a nice, conflicted boy.
Hello, Don and Mike. Hello
Like
there.
John Constantino.
Hello. Are you there?
Don,
Yes.
Because if he's not, I'm going to keep singing.
Yes. Hello.
did you guys see The Simpsons last night?
The Simpsons? I didn't see it. No.
No, we missed it.
No.
Oh.
You know, you could actually transport this
Thank
call
you.
10 years earlier. It'd be a relevant call.
Hello, Don and Mike show. Hello.
Hey, this is Bob, the Wrigley Field beer tender.
Oh, it is not.
No, I don't think it is.
I just wanted to thank Buzz for the on-air mention and let him know that the Jamaican weed will be sent overnight.
Oh, thank you,
Gotcha.
Bob. Yeah, that's him.
Although, Buzz was just telling me during the break.
Don't they vend that at Wrigley, too?
Sure,
Can't you
yeah, yeah.
actually get that?
Buzz was telling me during the break. Now, I worked at this radio station in Chicago, B96.
Right.
I worked there for 2 years.
Right.
Right.
Okay? I took the morning show from number 19 to number 4.
Right.
Never made it to number 1, but we made it to number 4.
Right.
I'm remembered on the station when they're playing back the tape of the
Right.
greatest moments of the station.
Did they do that? They had a tape?
They had a tape, Buzz says. And Buzz says, I'm on for one break. And what did I have to say?
You know, and then we were just talking about how some things never change. His over the intro of a record, he said, "I'm Don Geronimo. I'm a real man. I only drink buttermilk. I don't even drink homogenized milk because it begins with HOMO."
And that's
That's
it.
it.
That was his record
That's it.
intro back then.
So who put the tape together? Buddy Scott?
No, one of the production guys.
2 years. 2 years I did the night show and the morning show.
Yeah.
And that's what I get. Is
That's what
one
you-
mention.
No respect.
One mention where I say I
No
won't drink
respect. That sucks.
homo milk.
About
Yeah, that's the
same.
way it would be, in a lot of radio stations, I
Yeah.
think. You know,
Hello?
they just don't give credit where credit's
4
due.
seconds. We got.
Don and Mike show. Hello.
Was Dick Biondi all over that tape?
No, he wasn't on the tape at all.
Really? All right. Because he's underground.
Hello, Don and Mike show.
He's dead.
Worm food.
Hello.
Speak to us, all I have
please.
to sing like
Please.
Johnny
Please don't.
Constantino.
Hello. Please spare me from this. Hello, Don and Mike show. Hello. What?
He's so happy
yeah.
on the outside, but so sad on the inside.
Oh,
Hello, Don and Mike show.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
With the
Okay,
clowns.
usually you will hear that click of little noise. I just like to tell you guys, I appreciate you guys in the day. It makes my day. I was wondering if you guys ever checked back with that guy that was in, I think it was Seattle, to see if he was still standing out there waiting to get in to see the movie.
Oh, the Star Wars
We'll
guys.
have to do that because Star Wars coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, thank you for the call, my friend.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact,
Friday.
there are two things that we have to check up on. One is the two idiots waiting for Star Wars,
Right.
And the other wasn't there like a 700-pound guy in Cleveland who was waiting for an operation and he had to lose 200 pounds?
We've got his phone number taped to the window in our office in D.C. So
What's the operation that he's waiting for?
He's one of those guys like that was on Maury Povich or on.
And he's got to
Geraldo.
lose the weight for them to operate to get like his stomach stapled or
I
something like
believe
that.
so, yeah.
Yeah, he was so fat. He was so
Right.
fat he couldn't get the stomach stapling.
Right.
And we called him up and we offered him encouragement, and he needed to lose. He had to get down from 700 to 500 pounds.
He said he'd love for us to check back in with him, so we do.
He
have
wants
his
to get
number.
down to 500 pounds because 700 pounds is a hassle.
Henry Clay.
Yeah, right. Those guys are still outside the theater.
Somebody mentioned the name Dick Biondi.
Yeah.
And
Dick Biondi, the disc jockey that wanted to get into a fist fight with you, but you wouldn't fight him because he was too skinny.
now,
Too old.
Here's the deal. And I got a picture of him here.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa, you know what? I hope that you can take this and put this on WNEW.com today. Not only the old pictures of me, but the old pictures of Buzz from 20 years ago.
Right.
God.
But a picture of
That's
this
some
guy.
serious black velvet hair dye there.
This guy right here, Dick Biondi. Now the deal is,
Was that his real hair, or was he wearing a wig?
no, but it was a dye job.
A dye job,
It was
yeah,
a
sure.
dye job. This guy was like one of the old-time Chicago disc jockeys. Like he was popular in 1960.
And the 50s even.
Right. So he's doing the morning show at the radio station in Chicago, and he sucks.
Right.
Because he's doing like a 1950s show.
Sure.
This was back in 1982, and every day he's getting on the air, and his whole rap is, "Hey, it's going to be I mean, I can't do it because of my voice, but."
Hi, this is Dick Biondi, boy. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day in Windy City. I'll tell you right now.
Except he was not even that good.
No.
He was bad. He was so bad he was good.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's really tough. Toy.
He would make awful jokes.
Joke books,
I mean,
yeah.
joke book stuff. So,
Right.
so what happens is they offer me the morning show. They say, we're going to can Dick Biondi, and we're going to put you on in the morning. But do us a favor. Don't say anything about it. And I don't. No, and I didn't.
Okay.
To them.
Right.
But a guy from the newspaper calls me up. A guy from the Trib calls, and he says, I understand you're moving to mornings. I said, I have no comment. Guy said, well, if it's not true, tell me it's not true. I said, I have no comment. So the guy writes the story. Because basically everybody in the world knows that this is going to happen.
And if you said no comment, you did what you were supposed to do.
That's right.
Everybody at every radio station in Chicago knows
Right.
that I'm going to go to the morning show.
Right.
So one night, it's about 6:30. I started off doing 6 to 10 at night. Then I went to 6 to 10 in the morning. At about 6:30 at night, this guy, and we've got to put the picture up on the website because he looks like, with dyed hair, you know the movie with Angelica Houston and Jack Nicholson and Kathleen?
Pritzi's Honor?
Yeah.
He looks like the dad. Like the dad in Pritzi's Honor.
Only he's got jet black hair.
Right.
So about 6:30, this guy comes into the studio, 6:30 p.m. I'm standing there, I'm doing my show, I'm playing the records, and he comes in with the Chicago Tribune.
Right.
And he says, you think you're taking my job? And I said, Dick, I don't know anything about that. He says, nobody takes my job from me. Now, at the time, the guy is, hell, I'm in my early 20s,
Right.
and the guy is, at that point, he's almost 55, almost 60.
Yeah.
Right.
He says, nobody takes my job. Nobody goes behind my back. And I said, hey, it's not my decision. It's not my decision. And at that point, he comes over and he pushes me. He puts out one bony little arm
Right.
and pushes me.
Very frail man.
And very frail.
Yeah.
And, you know, looks like he's got the AIDS.
Right.
I mean, this is how bad the guy is.
Yeah. Right.
And now I'm processing all of
So
this.
he wants you to get into a fight with him.
I'm processing this in my mind while I'm on the air, while I'm playing a record. I'm thinking, now, I could either punch him and knock him down, but then the story's going to be
Yeah, I mean, young guy
Don
kicks
Geronimo
the crap out of old man.
beats up old man.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be that Dick Biondi came in and threatened to kick my ass,
Right.
and I wouldn't fight him. So what I did was, and this is the great thing about B96, the only radio station I've ever worked at that had a lock on the inside.
Right.
You could lock yourself in the studio.
Sure.
What I did was, I grabbed Dick Biondi by his shoulder, and I said, come here. And I put him outside, and I locked the door. And then I went on the air, and I told a story on the air.
Right.
I stopped playing records, and I said, the most unbelievable thing is happening right now. Dick Biondi is here, and he wants to fight me. Dick Biondi wants to fight me because of what was in the Chicago Tribune today.
Now, what is he doing while you're saying this on the other side of the locked door?
He is looking in through it. It was a big metal door with just a little
Glass area.
piece of glass, and he's looking at me, and he's hearing this, and he's balling up his fists.
Really?
He's looking at me, and he's balling up his fists, and I'm looking at him while he's doing this on the air, and I'm pointing at him, and I'm laughing, and I'm saying, this is not a fair fight. I can't fight Dick Biondi.
Right.
Dick.
Hey, no, don't push you. You're straining.
I'm going, Dick, you're almost 60.
Right.
I can't fight you.
Right.
I can't fight you. And he's doing this. So at one point, I really come over and I bring the microphone like as far as over. I go, listen to Dick Biondi beating on the station door. and you hear.
So he wanted to come in. Was he getting angrier when you were talking about it on the air?
He was outraged. Absolutely outraged.
So what happened when you got done during the break?
Well, when I got done doing the break, I just left the door locked. And he stayed out there for about 30 minutes.
Right.
And then he left.
Yeah.
And when I left the building that night, I said, did Biondi leave? And they said, yes, he left. And when I got home, I got a call from the program director who said that Dick Biondi called and threatened to wait for me after work. That he knew people in the Chicago Mafia. That my life was not going to be safe.
Wow.
That how dare I take his job?
Yeah.
And furthermore, I was a giant pussy for refusing to fight him.
Wow.
That he was willing to fight over his territory. And
My God.
I think they fired him like a day later.
Yeah.
When he went on the air then with his version of the story.
Right.
He told what happened.
Right.
He came down and he said, I went down there and I challenged this boy, this young upstart, to a fight. And he refused to fight me.
My God.
And I was the newsman on the air on the morning show the day that Dick Biondi did his last show, and then the next day when Don Geronimo did his first show.
So how did Dick Biondi's little tenure end there? Was it a nice farewell, or was it bitter and ugly?
No, it was bitter. I mean, I didn't see a lot of the mess, but I know he was very angry, and then suddenly he was gone.
Jesus.
As so often happens in radio.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That's a radio story right there.
You know what, please,
Radio, it's red hot.
really, put this picture on WNEW.com so people know the guy I'm talking
Can I
about.
take a closer look at him?
You got to look at this, Mike.
Right.
Really, you got to look at this guy. And you got to think that 20 years ago, I'm just a disc jockey playing records.
You take away the dye job there. My God. I mean, that is jet black hair on a man that should be Snow White.
And Rob, can you find an air check of Dick Biondi somewhere?
You know, actually, if Joe goes into the locker in the production room, it's labeled, I believe it's labeled DB. They're yellow tapes at the bottom of the
Joe,
cabinet.
go find one right now, real fast, please, before we have to break. Because you got to hear the guy, because to play a tape from 19...
Because it's really up here, isn't it, like that? Yeah.
And the tape will play is, I think, from 1958.
And it was exactly how the guy sounded in 1981.
Introducing Duran Duran and with the music of the day. And I remember working with this guy and finishing a newscast, and he would come in with a joke out of his joke book, to get us out of the news and back into the music. And it would be just awful, and I would just let there be like a beat and a half of dead air and say, that was like a joke, right? And then he would jingle out, and it was a train wreck of a show. It was horrible.
But anyway, you got to see the picture of the guy.
Who is this?
Who is who?
Right here.
Mike is looking at...
Who would that be?
pass that over.
A lady.
A lady.
It's, I don't know. Who is that?
I can probably
Piece of ass in that picture.
Yeah, I
was.
mean,
point to which one?
the one in the maroon suite. Yes.
Don't know.
Oh,
Recognize
yeah.
her.
Yeah, Buzz is looking at the pictures from
Well,
the
guys, gosh.
WBBM
Your reunion. How come you don't know who
I didn't
these
know some of the
are?
people at the reunion.
Hey, Joe,
Oh,
you
really?
got that tape? You got the tape, or should I go to break? What do you
Go to
think?
break and we'll keep looking for him.
Rob, it's so easy to find, isn't it?
It's in the bottom of the. I believe it's in the bottom of the cabinet. Oh, you know what? No, they're in their
you know
office
what?
now.
Oh, they've moved.
They've moved.
Ah, all
Forgive
right.
me, Joe. I'm sorry. That's
See,
on
so
me.
quick to indict my friend.
So where can he find the tape? We can
Joe,
play?
I want to know. I've turned the corner on you. That's why I gave you that big tip, and I'm not going to let you get picked on anymore.
Where can he find
Thanks,
it so we
Mike.
can?
You're
so we
welcome.
can-
I want to rekindle my good relationship with Joe
Where can he
Arden.
find it so we can play it coming out of the break?
I believe you'll be able to find it in the gray file cabinet that's in your office. You know the
Damn
big
you,
drawers in
Effers,
the corner?
persecuting Joe Ardinger all the time.
Joe, do you think you can find that?
I think so. I'll have
Anything
Wendy
goes
run break.
wrong, it's Joe. It's Joe. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to stop today.
We have to break.
I love you, man.
Remind me, I got to tell you about NFL Europe. Just for Rob when we come back. More show right after this.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Folks, Mike O'Mara here to tell you about Hotwire. It's the travel site that gets you great deals on flights and rental cars, too. But did you also know Hotwire has the lowest prices on hotel rooms? No? Yeah, they're guaranteed, don't you know? Hotwire has hotel deals you simply won't believe. In fact, with Hotwire,
I'm here, you know. Don't ignore me, Mike.
This is Don Geronimo here, doing a little less work than he normally does on these live spots. How you doing, Don?
Thanks for acknowledging my presence, Mike.
Oh, my pleasure. You can stay at a 4-star hotel for a 2-star price.
Do they have a brass room?
They have a brass room with chocolate cake. And there are lots of these great deals. For example, in New York, you can choose from a midtown to downtown location. East side, west side. Recently in D.C., a 4-star hotel near Capitol Hill was booked on Hotwire for only $84 a night. And a 2-star hotel on the Las Vegas Strip booked for just $57 a night. Wow. Check out the other travel sites, then log on to Hotwire.
And Mike, WJFK.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Hello there. A little more exciting. That's Genesee beer. So when thirst hits, call for Jenny. Jenny.
WKBW Buffalo.
Okay, now let's go with the number 3 record this week in Buffalo, Johnny Preston and Runnin' Bear.
On the bank of the river.
Oh, boy, I love those Indian songs. Nick Biondi on KB in Buffalo last week in February 1960. And, gee, who would have thought I would have lasted this long, right?
The Don and Mike Show.
Tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, get in there and talk about www.com. You got then that naked chicks on there, man. You go click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
The Don and Mike Show.
I got you. That's the guy.
Can they be kind? Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara.
That's the guy from like 1958.
I think you should have dropped him.
And he sounds the same today.
Yes, he does.
If you want to see a really funny picture of him.
He's still working, right? He's still on the air.
Yeah. We just saw it. Go to, what is it, WJMK.com?
Right.
I believe so, yeah. Any search engine on Biondi will bring you there.
WJMK.com in Chicago.
He, I don't know how old he is.
100.
But however old he is, he looks about 10 years older.
It makes G. Gordon Liddy look young. He really does.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be a good fight.
Oh, Liddy and Biondi?
Oh,
Yeah.
Liddy would kill him.
Beyondy's scrappy.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember, we've seen Liddy try to walk upstairs.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd make Liddy have to keep on his red sport jacket. That would be the handicap.
Be a scene like Gladiator, you know, where the Caesar cheats, you know, stabs him in the heart.
I was watching Hardball the other day.
Right, with Chris Matthews.
And first off, let me just say, Kathleen Matthews from Channel 7.
Baby.
I can't believe that you let that big mess lay on top of you and give you the meat all the time.
Wow. There you go. I like you putting it in that framework, too.
Because, you know, Chris Matthews, and so, listen, I'm not a handsome man myself. I've got a weight problem. But you know what? At least for Christ's sake, I can get out and get a suntan. Okay? Wow. Chris Matthews is a pasty, big, useless blob.
Yeah, you're not going to see Kathleen Matthews on the runway either, though, you know?
And his wife is the anchor lady for Channel 7. And whenever I watch him, I imagine him mounting her. I imagine her just laying underneath his...
A lot of breathing, sweat.
His gigantic, doughy, snow white ass.
Probably like a real high-pitched sound when he's reaching that particular point. Oh, dear!
It would be great for sweeps.
But I'm watching Chris Matthews' show, and he's got Liddy on.
Right.
And they're discussing Israel and Palestine.
Right.
And I'm thinking as I'm watching this, if you didn't know G. Gordon Liddy, you might really buy into all this I'm a tough guy thing, because they've got him in a chair, and they were only shooting him on TV from the shoulder up.
Right.
And now, if you don't see, the thing is, you got to see the guy in person. You got to see him walk like Mr. Magoo.
Right.
You got to see him.
I can't make it to the Tupperware.
You got to see him trying to walk like. I mean, when he walks like the penguin.
Yeah.
As he very frailly tries to make it upstairs.
Where's my office?
And the thing that I noticed most of all when I was watching is, listen, Liddy, stop dyeing your mustache.
Seriously.
Because
There you go.
I'm watching this, and big bloated pasty Chris Matthews is buying into this.
Well, that look, though, you got to realize that look with the dyed mustache is a look that's been made famous. It just ruins the whole thing if he doesn't dye his mustache. Be like Mr. Whipple. The same kind of thing. It'd be like many of the actors on the Lucille Ball show.
So, Chris Matthews, who's there looking like Chris Matthews looks like a pile of a raw pie dough, and he's saying, "I'm here with G. Gordon Liddy, one of the toughest men ever, one of the toughest men." G. Gordon Liddy, what would you do? And when they have the shot of Liddy just from the shoulders up, and he's going through his rhetoric.
I'd kill them all.
Yeah, you almost believe it.
Yes, sir, kill them all in my day. You know how do we deal with that Yasser Ari fat? We'd go in there, and what I'd do is I'd take my fighting ring, and I'd stab him in the throat until dead.
You gotta know that.
That's what I do. Yes, sir, Bob.
Now that's a
Bob.
fight.
I like to talk to my name, Bob.
That's a fight I'd like to see, is Liddy versus Dick Biondi.
Yeah.
That would be a great.
Look at that pile of blood on the floor. That's where Liddy and Biondi went down. Both of them fight to the death, like gladiators. Two gladiators, frail gladiators, breaking bone. At first contact with fist to arm, bones snap, brittle bones snap in two.
You, white trash.
Absolutely. Then a chokehold in the neck, of course, would break at the first sign of pressure on either one of them. Necks would break, bladders would release. There'd be just issue all over the ground. Yes, sir, it's Liddy and Biondi fighting.
And meanwhile, Chris Matthews is there just like a big pile of Elmer's glue.
He'd absorb them. He'd absorb the carnage. And just be, okay, give me another gift.
All right, hold on. Now, listen, a couple of things very quickly.
Surprised that pimp ever became famous anyway.
I was telling Rob today, I'm watching NFL Europe this weekend.
Right.
I'm the only guy in America that watches NFL Europe.
You're still enjoying it.
And I'm watching the Frankfurt Galaxy play FC Barcelona Dragons.
FC Barcelona Dragons?
And it's something, they've aligned themselves with a soccer club for some reason.
FC Barcelona Dragons. It's nice that you give them the regular name.
Well, that's what they're called now.
Football club, I think.
Yeah, FC Barcelona Dragons. So
Effing Christing.
I'm watching this. Yeah, get your music ready, Rob. And now I TiVo'd it, but I don't know how yet to get stuff off TiVo to get it onto to tape. There's a guy who plays for Frankfurt,
right?
And he's an H-back, and his last name is Hippler, Hippler.
Herr Hippler. Wo ist Herr Hippler?
Every time he gets the ball, it sounds just like they say. And now for Frankfurt, Hitler up to the 28.
Hitler breaks over the right side. It's touchdown, Hitler.
I mean, listen, you had to hear it.
Sure.
And the first time, my ears perked up a little bit. The second time, I'm really watching it. I'm thinking, my God, how can there be a guy named Hitler playing for an NFL Europe team? And then the third time, they go to a close-up of the guy, and the guy's name is Hippler.
There's the handoff to Hitler. He drives towards the border. Goal line.
Does he have a mustache?
All I know is that if I'm producing this game for Fox, I say to the guys, whatever you do, make sure you pronounce Hippler.
Yeah, let me tell you something. This halfback's a fine player. His former paper hanger doing an incredible job as he drives towards the border goal line. Fantastic.
Anyway,
this author turned H-back.
I guess you had to be there.
And you're saying you boys actually have made an effort to translate some of these songs, and one of them is the least offensive. Are they offensive songs, Rob?
I think you have it in your folder.
Really?
I didn't look at it. I didn't look at all the lyrics.
Probably the titles would probably give it away.
Because Wendell actually went to the trouble to do the search on the net.
Oh, there's a frightening man right there.
And
Wendell going to one of his survivalist camps over the weekend?
Could be.
I tell you, that's a scary... we work at a scary little radio station.
Is it maybe back in the office?
Reason to be concerned.
Yeah, very, very concerning.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
Tomorrow...
Rob, listen, I went out west to see my friend in Wisconsin. We were shooting bazookas and translating your German fight songs.
Actually, he was very helpful. He came up drove to me. He says, "I think one of those songs on the album is the Panzer song."
Tomorrow we'll get the raw translation of those songs, but we do want to do a.
One of these days, Wendell's going to come to work in a Panzer.
We want to do a very quick update here. We want to call.
He's expecting your call.
The fat guy.
You can dial on the air.
Okay, great. The guy's name is Ron Pocock.
Pocock, yes.
Pocock?
Ron Pocock.
All right, let's call the Pocock man.
And he lives.
The Pococker.
Lives in Ohio, right?
The man of Pocockstinia.
I don't remember. He was very pleased to hear from us. He seemed to remember our program.
Now, he was 700 pounds. He had to lose 200 pounds to get
No,
down to
Mike,
500 pounds to have his stomach stable.
On November 27th, he was down to 635 pounds.
And the magic number is 500 pounds?
Right.
All right. So perhaps he's down a little more.
I would hope so.
Probably not at the 500 mark yet, but he might be getting close if he's
You want me to dial?
if he's still exercising, watching his weight, watching what he eats.
Sounded good on the phone. I spoke to him.
Did he really? Yeah. Did he sound like Dick Biondi?
No, he didn't.
I'll fight you, Biondi. Okay.
You going to put those pictures on WNEW.com, please, Lisa?
Hello?
Hello, hey, Ron.
Yes.
Hey, it's the Don and Mike Show. How you doing?
Fine.
Hey, Ron, we're calling to check on your progress and see how you're doing in your pursuit of the surgery to get you even thinner.
Oh, I'm doing good.
All right, now, the last time now as far as I understand, you need to get down to about 500 pounds to have the surgery?
Right.
All right, so you have to get down to 500 pounds to have the surgery, and when we checked in, you were a little over 600 pounds, and how's it going right now?
He was 635.
635.
On November 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So now, let's see, November, December, January, February, March, April, over 5 months later.
Are you down in the 620s yet?
I'm below 600.
You're less than 100 pounds away from being able to have your stomach stapled.
I'm 57 pounds away.
Wow.
So, Ron, your current weight...
You're rocking and rolling, buddy.
Ron, your current weight is?
557.
Good job.
In a little over 2 months, I've lost 83 pounds.
How much in a little over 2 months?
83 pounds.
83 pounds. Wow. That's great news. What are you doing to lose the weight?
The doctor has me on a high-protein, low-carb, low-fat diet.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. What do you have for breakfast? Compare your breakfast, like your normal breakfast, what it is today and what it used to be.
Well, I have 2 hard-boiled eggs and an apple or an orange or grapes, some kind of fruit.
You eat the hard-boiled egg with the grapes now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I bet that runs right through you when you throw the grapes on top of that, huh?
What did you used to have in the morning for breakfast?
I usually had about 6 egg sandwiches.
Wow. Six sandwiches?
Yeah.
Right, egg sandwiches.
Egg sandwiches.
Fried in bacon grease?
Not bacon grease, but fried, yeah.
Fried, yeah.
In butter?
Butter, oil, whatever.
Right. And what would lunch be in the old days?
I usually didn't eat lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
right.
And then you would wait till dinner time, and then it was just Katie bar the door, right?
Right.
And what would an average dinner be?
Oh, 2 or 3 helpings of potatoes. Helping of vegetables, and 3 or 4 helpings of meat.
Chickens.
Not chickens, Mike. And Ron, what is it now?
What is it now?
Yeah. What is dinner now?
I eat a vegetable and some kind of like turkey or chicken.
When I eat a vegetable, I always eat
Karen Quinlan. That's our vegetable joke. You ever hear her?
No.
Nah, it's a little brain dead joke.
Never mind.
Sorry.
She's my favorite vegetable.
Just a joke.
Just a brain dead joke.
The good news is that Ron Pocock is down 83 pounds.
Man, let's give him another round of applause. And so you're... And at 57 pounds from now, when you get down to 500 pounds, you're going to have the surgery to have your stomach stapled?
I'll be put on the waiting list. It probably won't happen until probably about the end of the year.
What, are people donating the staples?
The doctor's donating the surgery, but then there's anesthesiologists and that, and we're going to...
So you're waiting to get it done for free?
Let me see.
Pretty close to free, yeah.
That's good.
I bet I know a couple of people ahead of you in line, and maybe I can call them Buddy Scott
Right.
I can call him Jim London. Perhaps I can call him.
Absolutely.
Chris Matthews.
Yes.
I will call these people and I will ask them if they would please
Step aside so let our Mr. Pocock through.
get out of there, get out of the way. And now, do you have to run around in the shower to get wet now?
No.
What is the food you miss the most now that you've been on this regimen?
I like spaghetti and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, starchy.
Yeah.
Lots of starches. That's the toughest thing to you. What was spaghetti your all-time favorite when you were big?
Yeah, I love spaghetti.
In what form? Just regular with tomato and meatballs?
Yeah, just tomato and meatball.
No cream sauces?
No, not really.
You know, really, seriously, all kidding aside, you know who is number one on that list is Kathy Whiteside.
Yes.
From
she likes cream sauces?
From Oldies 100.
Oh, my God.
Where do you weigh in on the Olive Garden macaroni grill issue?
I don't know.
Do you have an Olive Garden near where you live?
I think the closest one is Toledo.
Oh, so it's a good haul away.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
Well, they got unlimited breadsticks.
Rob, I'm not going to ask him if he misses the suet.
Okay. Shut up,
God, Rob.
All right, listen, Ron, great talking to you. Congratulations. We'll call you again. Remember, this is the Don and Mike show saying you can do it.
You can do it, and you're making amazing progress, and we want to follow you right down. What is your ultimate goal after you have the surgery? What do you want to get down to?
I'll be happy to be under 300.
Under 300.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm there, and I'm telling you.
I'm happy to be there, too.
Well, and I want to let all your listeners know, I'm happy for their support.
That's wonderful, and we will continue to support you, and good luck to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, thanks a lot.
Nice talking to you.
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go. There's an update on Ron, the 700-pound man. So he's going from 700 to 635.
It's amazing when a man's that big, and you ask the favorite food, and he throws out spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Jesus Christ!
But did you notice his energy level's really up since the diet?
Yeah. Now the other thing that we don't have time to check on this today, but the guys are still waiting in line in Seattle in front of the theater for Star Wars.
Any of them over 500 pounds, though?
We will check back. We will check back with those guys on tomorrow's episode.
Very good.
Okay, because it's been months and months since we originally talked to those two doofuses out in Seattle.
I think they'll sound much like the fat guy that we just talked to.